Wakanda Forever is out for home watching, and let's take a look at all the different services that it's available on using the 2022 Apple TV 4K. What's the best place to watch it? What are the streaming rates? Who gives us Dolby Vision? Who gives us Dolby Atmos and all that? I've done a ton of these face-offs here on the channel, and I thought this movie would be an awesome one for a next pick to do that with. I went ahead and bought it on iTunes. Because of Movies Anywhere, it proliferated, so we're going to be able to look at iTunes, Movies Anywhere, Amazon, VUDU, as well as Disney+. And of course, as usual, I am using the developer mode, the background debug mode of the Apple TV in order to get the information, the streaming rates and all that. And I'm connected in here with a Dolby Atmos capable connection to my LG 83-inch G2 OLED. So let's get the disappointment out of the way to begin with. Most likely, Amazon Prime promising us UHD and HDR. Doesn't say Dolby Vision, doesn't say Atmos. Let's see what we get. Right off the bat with Amazon, we don't get a whole lot. So HDR10, no Dolby Vision. I think some things have started to come out on Amazon, at least as well in the Apple TV and Dolby Vision, but not this. But we did get HDR10 and we did get it right away. We can see we have a widescreen presentation, CinemaScope presentation, and we're streaming at 3840 by 1600. Audio. It was listed as 5.1, 192 kilobit per second. Bottom of the barrel. And for video, we've got 17.44 peak video bitrate, 15.09 average, very much average. Hoping to see a lot more bitrate from the other streaming services and some real Dolby Atmos from the other streaming services. So kind of as usual for these face-offs, if you prefer Amazon Prime Video as your place to play content, you probably want to be doing it on a Fire TV or a different device, the Apple TV. What Amazon provides on the Apple TV is often lackluster, at least for non-Prime specific video content. In the case of like Rings of Power and some of the other things we looked at, they are quite a bit better on Amazon Prime, including on the Apple TV, than third-party movies and content like this. Next, we'll do VUDU. So VUDU is saying 4K Dolby Vision. There's no Dolby Atmos tag, but if you scroll down to the very bottom, it does indicate it should be Dolby Atmos audio. Let's play it and see what we get. Now, I know a lot of people swear by VUDU. They really like it. I've used VUDU quite a bit in the past before I made decisions a while ago to kind of fully invest in Apple and iTunes for streamed video content that I might buy or build a library in. And in VUDU, it's good. I don't think we'll find it here to be the best though. But in any case, we've got 4K Dolby Vision 5. We have the scope presentation, although VUDU is streaming the black bars. The streamed field is the full 3840 by 2160. We do have Dolby Atmos QEC3 audio with 16 channels. However, we only have 449 kilobit per second Dolby Atmos audio. I expect that we will see better than that from some of the other services that we will test in a moment. Average video bitrate 13.8, or not any better than Amazon, actually a megabit, a little bit slightly behind Amazon there. However, peak video bitrate 27.61. That's nice to see. I like to see peaks at least up in the 30s. I like to see averages up in the 20s. At least the peak video bitrate here stands out a little bit. That might be the best part, I guess, of the technicals of the VUDU stream. But again, I think we will find better in the other services. But overall, I think VUDU generally stacks up pretty good. There's not that many places to build a purchased digital library of movies and content. You've got Amazon, you've got iTunes, you've got VUDU, and if you don't like Apple, I wouldn't go Amazon. VUDU is the one, and it makes sense that a lot of folks, I think, use it and like it. All right, Movies Anywhere next up. And in the history of these face-offs, Movies Anywhere has been kind of hit or miss. They've offered some of the best streaming rates that we've seen, or at least tied up with the best streaming rates that we've seen. However, some of the reliability and getting to those bit rates and holding them has been a bit of a challenge. But they are suggesting, based on the tags, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. Let's see what we get. I like this one, Movies Anywhere. It worked right away. It locked on. I think in the earlier face-offs, maybe there were some deficiencies, some bugs, whatever. Movies Anywhere has been working better in the later face-offs. So updates, Apple TV OS updates, something really helped it. But we locked on right away. 4K. We do have the scope presentation. It is streaming the black bars, streaming a full field 3840 by 2160. Here's where things start to get better. EC3 codec, 16 channels. That indicates Dolby Atmos. 640 kilobits. Good bit beyond VUDU. I don't think it'll be the best that we see, but it's representing and it's pretty decent there. Here's where the kicker comes in though. Video bit rates. Movies Anywhere usually does some work on the video bit rates, and we see a peak 31.3, and here we go, average 24.48. So let's call it 31 peak, 25 average. That's great. That's really, really great for streaming video bit rates. With the QDH1 codec indicated, that's the same type of video codec. I think that we'll see pretty much through all of these different streams. So if we're wondering about comparisons or compression differences and whatnot, again, we're getting Dolby Vision 5, QDH1 codec. They're all kind of using the same base compression schemes. So I think it is fair to compare the bit rates that one service puts into the movie versus another as a proxy for its potential overall quality. Movies Anywhere is a tough one though. If you really want to make it the basis kind of your streaming content library, the big problem for that is they don't have all the studios. Movies Anywhere hasn't really been what I think a lot of us have wanted Movies Anywhere to be. They haven't really grown the studios. They have, the big 4 or 5 movie studios, and they have quite a lot of content, but there's other reasons why you may not want to leverage Movies Anywhere. All right, let's go iTunes. 4K Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos indicated. And iTunes is kind of the big question mark. I think there's been some conjecture about what iTunes has been doing. We've seen a couple face-offs lately, like Top Gun Maverick, where the bit rates on iTunes for video seem to be dropping. I've seen some conjecture posted around in some of the comments of the videos that people believe they might be changing up some of their compression schema. So even though the bit rates are dropping, the quality is getting the same or better. I don't know, that's hard to say or kind of corroborate. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping for a good bit rate offering here from iTunes. Oh boy, boys and girls. We just set a record, I think. All right, so what do we got? We got QDH1 video codec, same thing. Dolby Vision 5, QEC3, 16 channels, Dolby Atmos. Locked on, it's delivering what it's supposed to. We have the scope presentation, and Apple doesn't stream the black bars. 3840 by 1608 native field. Audio, on par with what we get, what we've proven, what we expect from iTunes. 770 kilobit Dolby Atmos. That's pretty much the tops. I think the most we've ever seen out of a Dolby Atmos stream has been a 799. So 770 is right there at the tops. But here we go. Average video, 24.96. Peak video, 43.8. Almost 44. A 44.25. Wow. If everything on iTunes could be 44.25 with that 770K Dolby Digital Plus Atmos, man, I would be thinking really, really hard about just making iTunes my everything. That's awesome. That is really, really great. I don't think in any face-off yet we've seen a 4 in front of a video bitrate number. That's super impressive. I hope we see a whole lot more of that going forward. Way to go, Apple. Way to go. And last but certainly not least, we'll look at Disney Plus. So Disney Plus is claiming the IMAX enhanced version, which they pretty much have, I think, now of every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film. IMAX enhanced 4K Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. Let's see how it works out. All right, and what do we got? We got QDH1 video codec, Dolby Vision 5, EC3, 16 channels. Interestingly, we're getting scope. We're not getting the IMAX enhanced. So maybe the whole film isn't IMAX enhanced. Maybe some scenes are. We'll corroborate that in a second. We are streaming the full field though, 3840 by 2160. For a changing aspect ratio film or a film that has some scope and some of the taller IMAX enhanced aspect ratios, they have to stream the full field. So the fact that it's 3840 by 2160 indicates that, maybe it is only certain scenes then that are IMAX enhanced. Disney Plus here on the audio side doing some work, 768 kilobit, 2 off of the 770 that iTunes gave us. So as usual, Disney Plus pretty much tops for streaming Dolby Atmos audio quality. And video bit rates, solid. They're decent here. 28.25 peak, 17 average. That's pretty normal, I think, for Disney Plus. Good step behind iTunes this time. But again, not a bad place to watch it. And particularly if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, I think is really the kicker. And you don't want to collect movies. You don't want to digitally buy movies. You just want to watch them. Disney Plus is a really, really, really solid service to subscribe to. Watch your stuff, enjoy it, and move on. So I'm going to jump through a little bit here and see if I can find some IMAX enhanced scenes in the movie. All right, so I I love the scrubbing feature of the Apple TV, being able to pause and swipe back and forth to jump through the movie very quickly, get to certain points or whatever. And I have to admit, there really weren't all that many IMAX enhanced scenes. We're now roughly here 2 hours into the movie. This is almost a 3-hour film. The big battle scenes, the big action scenes, that's the kind of stuff that you usually might see in the IMAX enhanced aspect ratio if it is a shifting aspect ratio movie. And this is shifting, it's not fixed IMAX enhanced ratio, but we're a little farther in here. I haven't watched this yet. I believe this is Namor, spoiler alert. But you can see now we're a little less wide than we were before. It still doesn't fill the whole native 4K 3840 by 2160 field, but it fills quite a bit more of it than the full-on scope parts of the film. And just to be clear again, here we are back in a scope presentation part of the movie. You can see we've got a lot more black bar there at the top and the bottom. Yeah, so very little, even through the end of the movie, the entire ending sequence of the movie didn't show in an IMAX enhanced ratio. So not a whole lot of IMAX enhanced action going on in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Of course, we wait to see what may happen here in 2023 with IMAX enhanced and DTS audio and all of that stuff, particularly with Disney+. The Apple TV wouldn't actually do DTS if this movie were released right now in DTS IMAX enhanced audio format. But based on some other reading that I've done, folks that have tried to stream it on a device that may support it, it is not yet streaming in the DTS audio, as far as I know. All right, so in summary, iTunes. Man, iTunes. I highly recommend iTunes. I talk about it all the time. They're proving me right in this case specifically, and we hope to see more of that. Disney Plus, awesome place to watch it, particularly if you don't want to buy it and or you're watching it on a 16:9 screen. You might as well take the taller aspect ratio for the scenes and the portions of the movie that have it. Otherwise, Movies Anywhere, doing some decent work there, but again, it's not the service that I would generally rely on as the totality of my movie like collecting or movie watching interface. VUDU, pretty good for what it is. Amazon in a somewhat distant last, particularly or mainly because of the audio. Amazon being the only one that didn't pump out Dolby Atmos audio here. Everybody else did. And of course, this movie will hit 4K disc, and it is available now on Kaleidescape as an almost 3-hour movie. I think it's a pretty big Kaleidescape download, but I haven't yet bought it on K or checked it out there. It'll be a little while before I even watch Wakanda Forever. My wife and I, we just finished Black Widow and the Hawkeye series, so I've got some Marvel Cinematic Universe catching up to do. So let me know what you think. What do you think about these results? How impressive is this Apple iTunes quality here? Where are you going to watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Are you going to stream it? Are you going to buy it? Are you going to own it? Disc, Kaleidescape? Share your story, share your recommendations, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think about these face-offs. Let me know what next piece of content, movie, TV series, whatever, you might like to see covered in one of these face-offs. Otherwise, please do all the regular YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, leave those comments, check out the other face-offs and all the other content here on the channel. And if you feel so inclined, look down in the description for some ways to support the channel so I can keep buying movies and making videos like this. There's memberships, there's super thanks, use my Amazon affiliate links, and all that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Coming back for more home theater discussion and fun.